Norm Pace descended first. His movements were controlled and practiced as he climbed down the cable ladder, water noise growing louder with every rung. By the time he reached the bottom, the roar of the canal filled the space completely, pressing against his awareness and making communication with the others above nearly impossible. He transitioned off the ladder and into the flowing canal, clipping into the safety line before beginning the slow process of stringing the phone line downstream. His focus narrowed to his hands, his footing, and the tension of the rope. Everything felt stable. Then, without warning, the stability vanished. There was no gradual shift, no increase in pull, no indication that anything had changed. One moment the safety line resisted the current, and the next, it no longer existed. The release was instantaneous. The water seized Pace and pulled him off balance before his body could react. He was dragged downstream and over the edge of the falls in a single violent motion. His sense of orientation erased as water and gravity took control. Pace did not plunge freely into open space. Instead, the sudden slack created by the release safety line arrested his movement partway down. He stopped violently, still attached, suspended directly within the waterfall itself. 30 cubic feet per second of water slammed into his body, hammering him from above and behind. The force pinned him in place, pressing him into the rope and twisting him upside down. His helmet struck the flow repeatedly as water filled his nose and mouth, leaving him unable to draw breath. For a brief moment, instinct took over. His body fought for air, his limbs flailed against the current, and his mind screamed for oxygen. But the water was too powerful to fight. Every attempt to move was swallowed by the flow. He could not pull himself up. He could not push himself away. He could only endure. Somehow, through the chaos, Pace managed to force his body into a partial rotation. It was not a clean movement, but a desperate adjustment driven by survival. He shoved his hard hat forward against his face, pressing the rim tightly to his forehead and cheeks. The helmet created a tiny pocket of space, a fragile barrier between his airway and the rushing water. It was not enough to breathe normally, but it prevented full submersion. It bought him time measured in seconds, then minutes. Above him, the rest of the group could do nothing. The waterfall drowned out any attempt to communicate. From their position, they could see only flashes of movement through spray and shadow. The rope was taut, the system locked in place, and Pace remained suspended beyond reach. Root took them to a familiar feature within the cave, a cable ladder that descended into a narrow canal. The ladder dropped down to flowing water that had carved a smooth channel through the rock, guiding everything in its path toward a waterfall further downstream. The water was active, but not chaotic, fast, but not yet violent, anchoring it with bolts at the top of the ladder, again at the bottom, and once more just above the falls. The intention was to create continuous protection through the canal, allowing the person to clip in and move deliberately while resisting the pull of the current. At the base of the ladder, the system converged. The bottom of the ladder itself was clipped into a carabiner. At the base of the drop, it was rigged upon, tying the ladder and the safety line into the same zone of hardware. On the surface, the setup appeared adequate. Every component was in place. The anchors were solid, the rope was sound. Nothing looked compromised. But caves do not test systems gently. They test them with time, pressure, and repetition.